Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics plus Non-Classic. This is episode number 628 and Doubleshot 532. Both of them DC trades. Okay. First up, it is Superboy Smallville Attacks, collecting the entire 5th volume of the Superboy ongoing series. Yeah, this only lasted for 11 issues, and this was actually, by the time the series started, I had just gotten into regularly reading DC Comics. Yeah, this started back in 2010. Yeah, but was reading at that point. Yep, it's written by Jeff Lemire, and artwork is by Pierre Gallo. Yep. Now, some of the stuff that Superboy does in here, it's the way this kind of feels. It kind of feels like this is a book that's kind of like Smallville in a way, the TV show, because the show had just wrapped up. Actually, was still going on. They actually ended the following year. Yeah, I think it ended just the following year. Yeah, it ended the following year. Actually, ended the year this book came out. And just various stories. Now, this girl on the cover, that's actually his cousin because, well, he's a clone of Lex Luthor, so she's related to, and she's actually Lex Luthor's niece. Yeah. And this guy is supposed to be the version of Jimmy Olsen. No, there's no Chloe Sullivan in here. And this is by far the first and only Superboy volume where he wears this costume. Yeah, this outfit he wears, the black t-shirt with the black t-shirt with the Superman symbol and the blue jeans. Yeah, this is the only time he does this. This is the only volume that he actually wears this thing in. Yeah, and the woman here's name is Lori Luthor. And the one thing I don't like about this trade, it does not collect the backup story from an issue of Action. I think it was issue number 893, I think it was. That was simply put a backdoor pilot to this very series. This trade doesn't collect at all. That's the only disappointing thing about this trade, despite the fact that you have that particular one-shot that sets up this particular series. It's not here at all. I don't know why. It's one of those things DC just refuses to put into a trade. I would think, though, because Superboy is a popular character, and there is rumors of this version of Superboy coming back, I would think DC would do a second printing of this, but nope. Initially, when I heard this trade coming out, initially what I saw, I thought it was only collect just the first 5 issues, and that was it, and do a second volume, but no. But yeah, this is just a standalone volume. He fights, they also, in here you have guest appearances by Phantom Stranger, Poison Ivy, which that was interesting. And just a fun little series. Though some of the stuff in here you can see in a Supergirl book. Yeah, especially, I would say this is also kind of a loosely inspiration for Supergirl being super. Yeah. But it's still a really great story. It's a really great storyline. I know for a kid he did have a feature in Adventure Comics that has been collected in trade. I don't own it, but it's actually the first, trade him news, but actually for a self-titled book. Yeah, this is something, the fact that they gave him this, and it's kind of like, okay, we're finally getting an ongoing series again. First, just gravity. Anyways, they finally gave us something first time in like 10 years. Yeah, it's been a good 10 years since they ended his previous ongoing series after 100 issues. So I guess they figured, okay, try again, and I'm sure a lot of people did read this when it was coming out. I didn't initially read because I wasn't into reading Superman comics at this point. Now, I'm reading almost every single comic book that DC's putting out. Overall, this is really good. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. The only thing I reason to take a 9.5 is because they include the backdoor pilot that starts the series off. I know my friend Tivia loves this version of Superboy, and I don't know if he owns this trade, but despite the fact this is $25, I got this for only $4. Yep, really cheap. This I got from Megcon. This is Batman and the Outsiders, Volume 2, The Snare. Yeah, written by Chuck Dixon. Artwork by several different artists on here. You have Carlos Rodriguez for the first 2 issues in here, and Jillian Lopez for issues 11, at least 8 and 9, and the final issue is done by Ryan Benjamin. Mostly this just contains Batman Outsiders Volume 2, 6 through 10. And those are wondering, is there a Volume 3 before it leads into when it was relaunched as simply just the Outsiders? No, there isn't. For some reason, DC Comics decided not to publish a trade to collect the final 4 issues of this era of the Batman and the Outsiders. Now, the Outsiders at this point consist of Batman, Geoforce, Katana, Batgirl. This is the Cassandra Cain gap, or a Batgirl. Grace, Green Arrow, and occasionally the character Thunder, who was the daughter of Black Lightning. The Black Lightning did come back to the team. Looker's in here, and this is just, and of course they have Nightwing in here for a one-time thing, and they also have it where they have to go to China, briefly get interrogated by the Great 10. Well, supposedly the Great 10, just some other military thing, and just having Metamorpho going to a space station, of course, coming back. I mean, I really enjoy this era I really enjoy the Outsiders, and it's great that I got my hands on this trade. It's just so stupid the fact DC decided not to collect issues 11 to 14. I'm kind of like, DC, you were basically publishing everything else that came out that particular year in trade, and yet you didn't publish this. You wonder when this came out? This came out, I think it was in 2009, I think it was. Yeah, the trade was released in 2009, but the issues came out in 2008. Now, the reason why I think that Chuck Dixon kind of changed his plans for this series is because of one thing. Final Crisis. That changed his plans. That's probably what caused him to lead the book. I didn't get a chance to ask him what caused him to lead the book, but I really enjoyed this particular series. And the thing ended with a cliffhanger of, okay, we have the character who's Rimac, who's kind of like a gun thing where he's just remote controlling him, and then his body gets transferred to Rimac, and it ends on that, and people are like, okay, next trade's come out, we finally got a chance to see the thing. Nope. This is never get resolved at all, and the last 4 issues is just Batgirl trying to keep the Outsiders together, despite the fact that when Pedro Tomas takes over, she is not part of the team. Neither is Green Arrow. Just Geoforce and Katana, the ones who stay. Everyone else does their own thing. Grace occasionally shows up after this era is over with. Thunder, of course, gets knocked in a coma at some point. Green Arrow goes back to his own book and does, well, whatever he does. And Batgirl, later, after the events of Brave and the Battle for the Cow, she abandons the title of Batgirl and goes to Hong Kong on Black Bat. Though her title as Batgirl later goes to Stephanie Brown, aka Spoiler. Yep. Which they just referenced that time as that in the pages of Tita Comics. You know what I'm going to give this? I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. This is amazing. Love the Outsiders. I really wish DC would properly finish putting this in trade. I know they just put they start recollecting the first volume, which I think they've only got to the first 23 issues in just 2 volumes and the first annual. I just kind of wish they would collect this era as well, and probably also the Joe Winnick era. I kind of wish they would recollect these things, but who knows? I've heard it's because of demand of doing this now, but I would think we'd a little more demand for Outsiders, especially since Scott Snyder just referenced and has been canned in the current continuity. Okay. So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, where I'm going to cover another Chuck Dixon book and an Avengers trade. Yep. You'll find out what they are in the next episode, okay? But until I see you there, bye.